Hi, Royal Ones. This is Miss Gigi. I'm coming at you again with another juicy message. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about the Fugitive Slave Act. The Fugitive Slave Act, or law, was passed by the United States Congress on September 8th, 1850, as part of the Compromise of 1850 between Southern slaveholding interests and North free states. The abolitionists was nicknamed it the Bloodhound Law for the dogs that were used to track down the runaway slaves. Following increased pressure from Southern politicians, Congress passed a revised Fugitive Slave Act in 1850. As part of Henry Clay's famed Compromise of 1850, it was a group of bills that helped quietly early calls for Southern secession. This new law forcibly compelled citizens to assist in the capture of runaway slaves. That's pretty much what the Compromise of 1850 states. The fugitive slave laws were passed by the United States Congress in 1793 and in 1850 to provide the return of slaves who escaped from one state into another territory. The Fugitive Slave Act is a law passed. It's part of the Compromise of 1850, which provided Southern slaveholders with legal weapons to capture slaves who escaped to the free states. And the law was highly unpopular in the North, and it helped to convert many previously indifferent Northerners to anti-slavery because they did not want to do the work on the plantation themselves, because they did not want to do their own cooking and cleaning and washing. They didn't want to watch their own damn children, because they didn't want to, go out into the field and plow their own field and pick their own cotton and do all the work themselves. They figured they keep all the money to themselves and they make all of the money. Of all the bills that made up the Compromise of 1850, the Fugitive Slave Act was the most controversial because it required the assistance of the citizens to recover the fugitive slaves. Northern whites resented having to be deputized or forced into hunting slaves against their will by the officials enforcing the Fugitive Slave Act. The refusal of northern states to enforce the Fugitive Slave Act was alleged by South Carolina as one reason for its secession from the Union prior to the onset of the Civil War. The acts of 1793 and 1850 remained legally operative until they were repealed by Congress on June 28, 1864. The slave codes were state laws established to determine the status of slaves and the rights of their owners. The slave codes placed harsh restrictions on slaves with already limited freedoms, which often, in order to preempt rebellion or escape, and gave slave owners absolute power over their slaves. It was this fear of rebellion that led each colony to pass a series of laws restricting slaves' behaviors. The laws were known as slave codes. Although each colony had different ideas about the rights of slaves, there were some common threads in slave codes across areas where slaves were common. The conflicts that rose between pro-slavery and anti-slavery settlers in the aftermath of the Act's passage led to the period of violence known as Bleeding Kansas and helped pave the way for the American Civil War in 1861 to 1865. Our ancestors and civil rights leaders endured so much. And I thank God for the ones that did survive so that we could know and learn our history and understand that what we've been through as a people, this what makes us strong today, knowing that they endured all this. Um, let's um, let's talk about the royal ones. Let's have this conversation. Meet me in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the Compromise of 1850. Let me know what you think about the Fugitive Slave Act. I believe when someone says no, that's what they mean. I think and feel that they took it too far, and they know that. And I'm so glad that it ended, so that we're here today, and we can live, pick up the pieces of where they left off. I think certain laws in place with the prisoners are a form of I have a certain feeling about the laws, how can lock up the prisoners for such a very long time. They're unjust, and it's a little bit of racism going on with our black males and the sentencing. And I feel like because they can't hold them in slavery anymore, they can lock them up for longer jail sentences and longer prison sentences. So it's slavery in a different term. I think the police brutality are the past thoughts and actions of the slave owners that's going on right now with how they're mistreating and locking up and killing our black men. Every time I turn on the news and see certain videos of the white officers attacking our black men, it's a way they used to treat them back in the 60s. It's very, very harsh nostalgia. And I think they know what they're doing. They're trying to keep us from being focused on being great as a people. Certain racism using this as triggers. They're trying to trigger us, but it's not working. And we're taking all of this anger and all this bitterness that we feel when we see these videos and we see them acting out a certain way. We're going to take that and be great. We're not going to retaliate. The best revenge is success, because they did not want our ancestors and our leaders in the 60s to be great. So we the descendants, we will be great. We're gonna outthink you. We're gonna outsmart you. No matter what you feel when you look at us, we're gonna be great on purpose. We're gonna be great intentional. No matter what you think you can do to us, it'll never work. You know why? Because you're not God. You will never be God over me. You'll never control me like that. So I take that and I feel that as success. And I think we all should do that, because royalty is in our DNA. And I will always rock my African pride every single day in your face. I will never turn back and be ashamed of my heritage. No matter what you say and do or think about me, you will never be as strong or be as great as me, because in my DNA, that's where it came from. You will never intimidate me, no matter how much you look at me funny, or no matter what you judge or say to me. Because I have a God that sits high and looks low. And I'm going to be great on purpose. I'm going to keep showing up every single day. That makes me, every time I think about when I start reading my Black history, I'm telling you, it made me want to be great, even better, even more on purpose. Which wake up and just be great on purpose anyway. In spite of, because I know all of this was because they want to be, the white race wants to deem itself to be the dominant race in this country because of its prestige and achievements, education, wealth, and power. But we take back that. We take back that because we have achievements, education, wealth, and power in the black community. That was the whole purpose of Black Wall Street. You see how that ended. You see how they did that. You see, because that was jealousy. That was pure jealousy, envy, and hatred. They scared for us to be great. Because we don't have to go to them or depend on them for anything. They want to control our wealth. The devil is a lie. You can't control our wealth. We control our wealth in the black community. We control our wealth as a people. And it'll never work. It'll always backfire. Anytime they don't really see it. They see it now. They're starting to see it now. Any plans they think they have for us, it always backfire in their faces. So these races, they don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. All right, royal ones, meet me in the comment section. Let's have this conversation. Let's talk about the Fugitive Slave Act. Let's talk about the compromise of 1850. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Love, hugs, and kisses. Bye.